Okay, so for part 4 of this, I'm just going to go into a little bit of martial practicality. Not going to do a whole lot with this, but I'm just going to demonstrate a few things and let you see what happens when the joints are open and relaxed versus not. Loose and open. Freedom of movement is what we want. And we'll get that freedom of movement by having the joints opened, loose, and relaxed. So this actually works good against Qinna type situations. Ideally, you don't actually want to get yourself fully in one, but let me have you do like over the arm and get me in there good. So if Robert has me in this here, my wrist is bent back, my elbow is scrunched in, and it's really pulling on my shoulder. It's very uncomfortable. If I try to move back into him, I can't straighten my arm and it hurts more. If I try to push down, it's not good. From an external point of view, I'd have to step out of this. I'd have to come around, and then depending upon how good of a hold he had, halfway through this, he was still holding on, which wasn't good. And now it's painful because I'm letting him have this. So let me have you get this in it again. And so without having to go through anything big, come under and have, oh yeah, see, my wrist is all killing me. Anyway, let's move back this way a bit so we're in frame. That's all right. Anyway, the idea is that if I keep loose and open, then I could just move freely. Here, I move my shoulder in. Let's try this again. And get me in this. Each time it becomes more and more painful, right? So, yeah, there you go. If I'm just trying to push, not much has happened. If I keep this open, loose, then I have freedom of movement. I can push down into him. We'll do this one last time because I'm letting you have this too long. You're really cranking on it. No, it's okay because I want it to be on there good. But it's all right. It's just particularly painful. And it's getting tenderized more than each time. So get in there a little better. Make sure I want to feel it in my shoulder and everything. So again, if I can't push straight into them, if I keep this loose and open, then I could just extend this straight out. I don't have the problems. If I try to do any of these things like that without being loose and open, it's going to put further pressure on my joints because he has all these joints closed off, locked up really good. And then I just had to open them all and extend with that. But like I said, ultimately, you don't even want to get put in these things in the first place. So you want to be able to move freely when it's happening. So if we're in a situation, and again, I'm just going to kind of let him have my arm so he can actually start the process. But if he has this, and I'm staying, if I'm staying free, I can just immediately move around what he's doing without him noticing much what's going on. I mean, he can see what's happening. I'll let him get in more. I just stopped him right away. Go ahead. So again, he's coming under, but I'm staying loose, open, and free. I'm not doing anything specific. I'm just letting my arm go where it wants to be free. Go ahead, try again. So I let him get in more that time. He's even in around this way, and I could just extend out with that. So the idea is not to even let yourself get in. Stay loose and open. As long as you just keep moving around, he's going to feel like he can't get a hold of me. He's not going to feel he can't get a good grab a hold of me because he's not going to get the feedback that he's used to feeling. Like if I'm normal and he comes in, go ahead, and I start moving around, there's a struggle involved because my movement with closed joints, he can feel and he can start to adjust. If he does the same thing, go ahead, and just loose and open, he can't get a good hold of what's going on. He's not getting that feedback to get a good hold of me. And so I can just move, and I don't have to know techniques. All I have to do is move in a loose and open manner, and he's going to kind of discombobulate himself because he's trying to get something he can't quite get. I'll just follow him out. Okay. Okay, and back to the idea of the joints being loose and open while you're moving, that could be particularly useful. Well, I mean, we talked about getting out of Qinna, but also doing Qinna. It's the same thing. It could become quite easy, like if Robert were to grab a hold of my arm like this, or stand in front of me, and either way, and if my joints are closed and he has me good, I can't get around. From an external point of view, if I go fast, I can get around, but I have to rely on that speed and power. The idea is if I'm loose and open, I could just turn and have him without necessitating the speed or being tricky about it. Try again. I could just keep all this loose, open, and freely moving, and it has him, and it's easy. His arm, he won't be able to mount strength in his arm against what I'm doing. I mean, as he tries, it's not landing anywhere on me, so he's not getting that kind of feedback, so he can't properly adjust for what's going on. Like, get me around the throat, and squeeze me a little bit, get me good. Okay, because that's, no, that's good. Anyway, if I come in with strength and try to peel them off, it becomes a bit of a struggle. And like I said before, from an external point of view, if I do it faster, I could start to get something to happen. But we both end up in the same position. No, that's fine. We both end up in the same position where we both, he's struggling this way, I get under his radar because of speed, it creates an opening, and then I have to take advantage of it. But as I'm taking advantage of it, he can also do something at the same time. You can do things like step away or whatnot, but I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about being real simple. Like if you didn't know anything about martial arts and you want these hands off of you, it's like, get them off of me, right? Because, I mean, that's what an untrained person might do. They want to get these hands off, and he has me good. Yeah, even better here. Really get my thud. All right, so you really want to get, you know, so really loose, open with the joints. You come in, it's just a simple, it's just simple. When you practice this stuff, pay attention to what you're doing too. When you're feeling the end range of your partner's joints, stop. Because he's not able to fight what I'm doing. If I go past his end range, I'll cause damage on his joints. So be kind to your partners. But the point is, and we'll do that again, get me good. So, I didn't have to do it fast, didn't have to put out a lot of speed, power, whatnot. Loose and open, he's not able to properly mount a defense against what I'm doing because it's not landing anywhere. So I can move freely, just like the other one. Another thing, again, without anything fancy, like if, have me good, if I try to do this, something like this, again, you see techniques where people come across, do stuff like this, but they're relying on speed, strength, momentum, stepping back, things like this. If he has a power and speed advantage, you know, I don't want to find that out. Maybe I'm against the wall, I can't step back, whatever. But again, if I stay loose and open, and a small correct movement like this, just a small movement, affects his whole body like that. Because whatever he's putting out at me all goes back to him. It's not landing on me because I'm loose and open. Try it again. I could do that bigger. I mean, this is small here. I could go forward at the same time with the elbows, or even just the elbows, if I'm just loose and open, and elbows, and just start easing down. I mean, obviously, anytime you do these things faster, you get a bigger effect, but I don't want to use the advantage of speed with this sort of thing. So, any kind of things like this, even if I was jammed up against the wall or something, it's fine. It doesn't matter with these things. Try trying to think of any other things that I might want to talk about with Qinna. I think that's it. I mean, you get the general idea. If I want to lock him up from any kind of situation, then being loose and open with my joints is what's going to let me easily manipulate his joints. Okay?